A config contains all your settings for a game, such as the way you want your mouse, keyboard, or joystick buttons mapped to in-game functions, as well as the speed of your aim. Configs are added by using XIM Edge Manager, but first, Edge must be connected to your PC. Make sure there are no peripherals connected to your Edge. Then, connect your Edge to a free USB port on your PC using the supplied USB cable. Edge will start up and then enter into PC mode. You know when it's in PC mode when it displays solid blue. Do not unplug your Edge while it's entering PC mode. Now that Edge is in PC mode, you can run XIM Edge Manager. Use the Connect to XIM Edge button to connect to Edge. During connection, your Edge's contents will be downloaded and displayed. From this screen, you will see all your configs listed. Every item shows the game, the color displayed when the config is loaded, the name of the config, the button used to load the config, and whether the config will be loaded automatically at startup. Your Edge comes preloaded with several configs for both Xbox and PS3. Since every gamer has unique gaming preferences, you'll likely want to either modify the existing configs or delete them and add new ones. Your Edge can store up to 16 configs. To add a config, click on New in Manager. You are given a list of games to choose from and what console you are gaming on, unless it's an exclusive game, whereas the console is chosen for you. Choose a game and the name of the config and then press OK. If you are playing the same game with your Edge on both Xbox and PS3, it is recommended that you choose a name that makes it easy for you to tell your configs apart, such as Modern Warfare Xbox and Modern Warfare PS3. If the game you want to play isn't listed, please check for updates to XIM Edge Manager at ximedge.com. It may be included in a newer release. If it isn't, it is likely the game you are playing will be compatible with an existing supported game. For more information, please visit the XIM Edge Community Forum. After you've added your config, it will be shown on your configs list. Manager will choose settings automatically for you. A hotkey and color will be chosen that you haven't yet used. Manager will also automatically choose button mappings by analyzing your other configs to understand your playstyle. Make sure to edit your new config to verify its settings. To edit a config, either double-click a config entry or use Edit in Manager. All your config settings will be displayed. Within the config editor, you'll be able to customize several areas, including name, load key, display color, mouse sensitivity, movement control, and action button bindings. The most difficult task for a console input adapter like Edge is the conversion of your mouse movement into a precise and fluid aiming experience. Edge's Smart Translators handle all the difficulties behind this. All you need to do is set how fast or sensitive you want your aim to feel. Shooters typically have two aiming modes, hip and aim down sight, also known as ADS. Because of this, your Edge may have separate smart translators for each mode. Again, you don't have to worry about this. All you need to do is decide if you want to use a different sensitivity value while you are aiming down sight. If you do, check Enable so you can set your ADS sensitivity. If the game you are playing doesn't have an ADS mode, the ADS settings will be disabled. Some games, such as Call of Duty, take a small amount of time to transition between aiming modes as the on-screen animation shows your gun going from hipfire to ADS. Edge even has a setting to compensate for this delay. Use delay to control how fast you want Edge to switch from hip to ADS in milliseconds. This is an advanced feature, so if you are unsure about it, leave it at 0. All games will have different Edge sensitivity settings, so it's best to modify your mouse sensitivity values in-game so you can quickly test the feel as you make changes. In-game config editing is covered in another instructional video. Edge supports two types of in-game player movement, digital and analog. Digital movement is performed via a keyboard and is typically set to WADS, although it can be changed to whatever you prefer. 8 directions of movement can be performed. Edge also supports joysticks for analog movement, similar to a thumbstick on a controller. Certain game boards and nunchucks are also seen as joysticks by Edge. For example, the Logitech G13 with integrated analog stick as well as the Sony Move navigation controller. If you'd like to use a joystick for movement instead, use the drop-down to change to analog joystick. All controller button actions within a game are bound to mouse, keyboard, and joystick buttons. The config editor will show all your current bindings. If an action is currently bound to a mouse button, there will be an M displayed with the current mouse button selection. Keyboard will display K, and joystick will display J. To change a binding, click on it. You can then change the binding manually, or you can use the detection button to auto-detect it. The Auto Detect tool can only see your mouse and keyboard when it's connected directly to your PC, and it cannot detect joysticks. For this reason, unless you know exactly what bindings you want, it is recommended that you set your bindings in-game. In-game config editing is covered in another instructional video. Smart Translators are designed per game, and every game is different. For this reason, it is very important that you're using the correct config for the game you are playing. If you aren't, your aiming will be unstable. Every config is assigned a color so you can identify which config you currently have loaded. Click on the color button to cycle through available colors. When the config is loaded, the color will be displayed. Your Edge can hold multiple configs, so you need a way to load those configs when you are gaming. The Hotkeys setting is used to choose the key you press to load this config. Manager will warn you if you choose a hotkey that is already being used. To delete a config, click on Delete in Manager. Remember that changes you make in Manager will not be saved back to your Edge until you disconnect. So if you accidentally delete a config, simply close Manager without saving. When Edge is powered on, it will automatically load a config. To choose the config it loads, click on the config and then click Startup. You will then see Startup displayed with the config. Edge can hold a lot of game configs, so to help you remember what you have on the Edge and what hotkeys are used to load those configs, you can print out a summary by clicking Print. When you are done making changes to your Edge, you must disconnect from Manager by pressing Save and Disconnect. If you don't want to save your changes, press the red X to close Manager and choose not to save when asked. Never unplug your Edge while it's disconnecting from Manager, otherwise you will corrupt your settings. Manager will inform you when it is safe to unplug your Edge.